Amiga, do you ever feel caught between two worlds? You cherish your cultural background, but sometimes it clashes with the realities of raising a family in modern America. You might feel pressured to fulfill traditional expectations, yet you crave a life that allows you to be your true, authentic self. If you're a Latina mom nodding your head right now, I see you and I get it. Balanced Motherhood is more than your average mommy coaching program. It's a supportive comunidad designed specifically for you. I understand the unique challenges you face navigating between generations and culturas while forging your own path as a mama. Stop feeling like you have to choose between your roots and your future. Balanced Motherhood empowers you to create a life that celebrates your heritage, embraces your motherhood journey, and prioritizes your own happiness. Spots are limited. Don't miss out on this opportunity to connect with a supportive community and create a more balanced life. Visit the link in the show notes to join the waitlist for the next Balanced Motherhood cohort. I can't wait to meet you. You're listening to the Viva la Mami podcast, a podcast about all things motherhood. I'm your host, Jessica Cuevas. I am a mother of one on a mission to redefine the meaning of motherhood as a first-generation, bilingual, and bicultural Latina mommy. Regardless if we feel like a failure from time to time, or if we succeeded with the little things in our motherhood journey, it is important to celebrate all of these experiences as madres. So, bring your cafecito as I invite you to be a part of this space and create raw and honest conversations about the exciting and challenging parts of being a mommy. Ahora, vámonos. Hola, hola, amiga. Today, I am very excited to share an Instagram Live that I did earlier this week about Dia de Muertos. And this isn't specifically about what the holiday is, but it's more so about the significance and the history, and also just ways that you can set up the altar with your familia. I am very excited that I collaborated with Zarai Imports, which is a small business located in the beautiful neighborhood of Pilsen in the city of Chicago. And so I had the opportunity to be with Henry, who is the son of the matriarch, the owner of Zarai Imports. So Sarai herself was also there, and so they kind of talked about how they make meaning of this tradición and also ways in which you can set up the altar with your familia. As someone who didn't grow up with Dia de Muertos or celebrating it, I was very thrilled to learn a lot about the significance of it and as well as with what each and every ofrenda means. So like the symbolism involved. And so I'm just excited for you to learn more and to kind of compare what you do also in your kind of own tradiciones with your family. It was a great conversation, and I am very excited for you to hear more about this awesome celebration that is soon to start in about 2 or 3 days, just depending on how you celebrate it. Some of the things that I kind of gathered from my conversation with Henry and Sarai is that there isn't a right or wrong way to celebrate Dia de Muertos. It can be kind of on your own, based on your own traditions. You make meaning of it. And so know that there isn't a specific way of celebrating. There isn't a kind of rule book for this celebración, as long as it is something that you can pass along with your family. And something that really intrigued me about Dia de Muertos is that it has been celebrated prior to the colonization of the Spaniards. So this is a pre-Columbian holiday. And what I love is that it has been passed down to many, many generations. And now as a mommy, this is something that I want to do, that I want to continue on doing for my son, children, and that way my children can pass that on to future generations. So I invite you to be a part of this fun conversation. I had a really great time at Zarai Imports. And if you are in the Chicagoland area and if you need to do some last minute shopping to set up your altar, they have all the stuff that you need. Anywhere from the serapes to the table runners to the papel picado, they have everything as far as with the decoration side of things. So, again, I welcome you to this conversation, and I hope that you can stay in this Instagram live that I had on my Instagram page. But if you also want to see the video itself, know that you can go to my Instagram or to Sarai Imports as well, and I will share that in the show notes. Here is my interview with Henry and Sarai.
Hola a todos. Welcome to Viva la Mami and Zarai Imports. I'm really excited to have you all join us for this Instagram live for Dia de Muertos. Or Dia de los Muertos. Like, I feel like we go back and forth between both. But basically, we want to sort of give you a little bit more knowledge and wisdom about the significance of it. That way you can pass along las tradiciones con tu familia. And so I'm really excited to have Zarai herself, the founder of this store, esta tiendita tan hermosa aquí in Pilsen in Chicago. And then we have Henry, who is her son. So we'll have you both introduce yourselves. Y la primera pregunta que le voy a preguntar a la señora es, ¿cómo es que usted hizo estas tradiciones y cómo las ha pasado con su familia? Y entonces, if you can introduce yourself first. And then...
Yeah, claro. Hi, everyone. Yo soy Henry Ramirez. I'm the son of Zarai. Many of you who have visited the store may know me as running around here, and you probably talk to me, and I talk a lot. Probably that's why you all know me as that. But nice to meet you guys. Nice to have Via on here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
¿Y madre?
Mi nombre, soy Zarai Reyes.
¿Y la pregunta?
¿Pregunta?
Sí, pues, ¿cómo es que usted ha tenido esas tradiciones del Día de Muertos y se recuerda de pequeña? ¿Y cómo es que usted está pasando esta tradición con su familia?
Pues mis recuerdos de pequeña, cómo se usaba en mi pueblo, es que en un altar no debe faltar la flor de cempasúchil, el incienso de copal, la luz, la veladora y la sal. La sal. Y la luz.
La luz. Okay. So, velas.
Velas, okay. Las velas, el copal, las flores y la sal.
Okay.
Sí, te voy a explicar un tantito qué significa todo eso.
Sí.
Un tantito. Pues las flores es la flor específica que se usa para los altares de los muertos. Y es una luz que siguen ellos, siguiendo la flor de su caminito. La luz es para que ellos vean su camino. La sal es para purificar las almas de los que no fueron bautizados, especialmente los niños chiquitos que no mueren y no lo alcanzan a bautizarlos. El copal es el incienso para aromatizar el ambiente y ellos lleguen a comer con gusto sus ofrendas. Y el día último de octubre, que es el 31, se especifica para los niños, los muertos chiquitos, que se les pone su vasito de leche, su vasito de agua, la sal, su lucecita y su incienso. El día 1 de noviembre, las flores, sus velas, la sal, el incienso de copal, y dice en su ofrenda de comida se le ponen pan de muerto, arroz con leche y chocolate y frutas. El día 2 es de todos los muertos, de todos, y es ahí donde se les pone su comida que les gustaba. A ellos que acostumbraban comer bebidas, comidas, y especialmente la más popular comida que se les pone allá es el mole verde con carne de gallina y tamales de nejo.
Pues dile a dónde, Dom.
En mi pueblo se llama Sazamulco Guerrero.
Eso.
Okay.
So, estas son las tradiciones de de ella,
Ajá.
que ella creció ahí.
Y se les pone también calabaza de dulce, su chocolate, y si le gustaba a la persona su cervecita, se le pone su cerveza.
Okay.
¿Y tú estabas acostumbrada a ese día, el 2 de noviembre, en donde se pone todo eso?
Sí.
Okay.
Ujú. Y ese día es para todos los muertos. Y ese día, durante esos 3 días que se ponen las ofrendas, los muchachos o personas iban a visitar las ofrendas, los altares, y pedían arroz con pan para el campanero, porque en la iglesia se acostumbra a tener un señor que está tocando las campanas por el Día de Muertos. Y a ellos, al recoger eso, se van a compartir el pan y el arroz con leche con el campanero.
Oye, madre, ¿y todo eso se pone en la noche?
Y todos los difuntos pues se vienen después de las 12 del mediodía.
Oh, okay.
Después del mediodía.
Después del
mediodía. Y ya el 3 de noviembre es donde se llevan las flores al panteón.
Oh,
Así no
okay.
sabía yo.
So, se hacen los altares.
Los altares,
Okay.
el día primero.
Okay.
El día último se hacen los altares.
Okay.
Y para recibir a los pequeños difuntos.
Okay.
El 31 de
El
octubre.
31 de octubre. Allá se acostumbra que es el Día de los Niños.
Para nosotros es Halloween aquí.
Yeah.
Allá Halloween no se usa, sino que se sale a pedir para el campanero arroz con leche, arroz con pan.
Arroz con pan. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Y Henry, did you grow up with setting an altar and?
Well, considering que yo soy de aquí, I didn't grow up going to the cemetery, the cemetery and spending all night. Actually, as a kid, here all we had was Halloween. I was like, oh my God, that's creepy. That's scary. Why do I want to be at the... Let's be honest, I think there might be a lot of us that probably thought that when we were younger. Pero I remember que creciendo en la casa, mi mamá siempre ponía su altar, whether it be small or big. Y me daba miedo porque luego ella decía, sí, es que vienen aquí. Y a veces me sacaba de onda porque el agua would be like a little, like after having it like 3 days, it would be a little lower. So no sé if it's evaporation or, pero...
she drank it?
Or, pero... No, le digo, es que vinieron a tomar. And I'm like, what, Mom? So I would be freaked out. Don't make fun of me. If you guys stop in the store, don't tease me. Pero sí me daba miedo. And I was like, oh my God, mamá, what is this? ¿Está viniendo muertos? Yo todavía me recuerdo de los días en México donde Halloween was not a thing. It was just Dia de Muertos. And, obviously now everything has evolved and so forth and so on. Pero I can say I really began to really learn more of the stuff of Dia de Muertos now being part of Zarai. Yeah. Zarai has been part of my life since 1998. Wow. And now I'm meeting people that were born that year. So I'm like, oh my God, I was already selling these dresses and selling the stuff on 26th Street at Maxwell Street Market, at that age. And that's when I really started learning a lot of the traditions and just también para ser claro, like creciendo también y hablando y trabajando con mucha gente de diferentes partes de México. Su tradición de mi mamá, overall veo que it aligns con muchos, pero cada quien tiene sus diferentes significados, su significado, esto es para esto, el otro para otro, nosotros celebramos esto. Y también a lot of it's also just porque Dia de Muertos is a pre-Hispanic celebration, and it's the only celebration that is pre-Hispanic that is still alive and around.
Yeah.
Has it been evolved?
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
I actually did my own little research years ago, and there's a lot of stuff that I learned. I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And esos clientes, esa gente que ha venido a la tienda, you will see que a mejor I've gotten into the history of it because, like I said, I talk a lot. So please stop me. Pero sí me gusta más que nada educar a la gente. Like, just so you know, Day of the Dead, the Catrina was really, it's an evolved figure, which really was the Aztec, a goddess of afterlife. I cannot pronounce her name. Mika. Oh my God, now one people, please don't get mad at me. I can't pronounce her name, but it's goddess of afterlife and her husband, who are the rulers of the afterlife.
Interesting.
Y ellos, over time, they've been evolved to these figures, the Catrina and Catri. But in reality, from what I learned and what I just read over research in the past when I really got into it, is that these are, they were Nahual and Mixteca natives that that's their goddess that they brought up.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot more stuff that I learned into it, and it really does make sense, you know. And what really captivated me is I learned that Day of the Dead was really celebrated back pre-Hispanic was the month of August, entire month of August.
Interesting. And why now in late October, November?
Well, after the conquer and Christianity was brought upon our people, the natives, it kind of then became evolving, and it kind of became, it got moved or evolved to kind of align with All Saints Day.
Yeah. Okay, so it got colonized.
And it's many times used. Look, I'm going to go into that. I mean, the book stuff that I read and I looked into, and I try to look into stuff that's kind of, you know, that is my people and not someone else writing it, you know? I'm calling it for what it is. Pero it's really like, they were saying that the cempasúchil, cuando vi la película Coco, and at one point I was very skeptical of watching it, pero they were very in tune with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was very, very surprised.
Yeah.
You know? Porque el cempasúchil, same thing that they said, ellos usaban eso para que también guiara la luz para que ellos vinieran también, because the brightness of the color.
Yeah.
Y todo eso.
I'm glad they did their research.
I know.
You know, they did a really good research. Pero yo no crecí con hacer altares ni nada. Lo único que yo me recuerdo es que tuve una no bisabuela, pero tía. Era hermana de mi bisabuelo. Y she set up like an altar. Y ella, you know, kind of explained. Pero no lo hicimos como tradición. Porque ella se quedó con mi abuelita. Nada más lo hizo como a tal tiempo cuando se quedó ahí con ella.
Yeah.
Pero mi tía Tules, se llama. Y so that's the only kind of like encounter that I had, with Dia de Muertos or with setting up an altar. And so it wasn't until Coco where I was like, wow, like this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, why can my family do this? And so now my family's starting to, pero I question, I'm like, okay, sí saben el significado de todas las ofrendas, de todos los regalitos que traen al altar. Yeah. And so, this is why I'm here, just so that, you know, parents out there, like, even if you do want to start this tradition or continue on with this tradition, I think it is important to know the historical context.
Absolutely.
And understanding of what each kind of symbol means. So, can we start out with that? Like, usted ya empezó con la sal, la luz, pero
el
copal, sí, el cempasúchil, pero, like, can you tell us a little bit more about that based on your research?
Yeah, based on my research and so forth, I mean, I actually have something right in front of me that you guys probably can see. And call it a cheat sheet or whatnot, or also call it a plug, because I have these at the store. Hashtag plug. No, pero the reason I did want to bring this out is because I love that the fact that now they're actually writing the significance on these pop-out posters. And these are little cardboard altars, but it really kind of gives the glimpse into people knowing what is the significance of el pan de muerto? What is the significance of the sal? And some of it aligns, again, with my mom, but again, some of it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's still very all like within the same, I don't know, what do you call it, perspective or whatnot. So here what we have, it just pretty much explains how the flor de cempasúchil significa la vida interna de los difuntos, and I will be better at holding this, sorry. De los difuntos junto a Dios. Las veladoras, como dijo mi mamá, es porque iluminan el camino para las almas que pueden llegar a sus hogares. That's the light, they need it. And I think this also goes into like our culture in general. When someone passes, se hace novenario, se tiene que prender la vela, because they need that path to go to the other, crossing to the other side. And just like that as well, in reverse, we need to light that candle so they could come back home, so they could enjoy their feast. At the same time, el agua es la fuente de la vida, simboliza la pureza del alma y la sed del difunto. So that's what it's saying for the water. Y el incienso y el copal, que dice, limpia el lugar de los malos espíritus. So get all that bad energy, all that bad spirits away. Y une el cielo con la tierra igual que los rezos. y el pan representa los cuerpos de los muertos, algunos que forman humanos y otros cráneos y huesos. So that's why they're in shapes of, you know, of humans or muertitos or whatever, but it's really just to kind of symbolize them. And then la comida y la bebida, pues, that's pretty much for their enjoyment, their favorite foods, their favorite beer. I know with me, when my time comes, michelada, negra modelo, please, thank you. I have that one ready. Very specific. Negra modelo o bohemia, that's it. Sorry, I just did advertisement, I think, for that. And then, y las calaveras de azúcar es básicamente, puede ser here, puede ser de chocolate o azúcar, y just realmente porque representa la imagen de la muerte, because they are afterlife at the end of the day. So those are just some of the things that we put here, and we have other ones que también goes more into detail on the different types.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think a lot of people don't understand or don't really know, because I still encounter people like, oh, the 31st we do stuff? Like, yeah. Yo siempre conocí a mi mamá, siempre ella ponía lechita el 31 de octubre, you know, para los niños. It's also called el Día de los Inocentes, el Día de los Angelitos, because it's for the young souls. Yeah. You heard her saying what she grew up thinking the sal is for. You know, it's for the babies que no fueron bautizados y so forth. I don't know if you see the crossover, how a lot of the religion has really gone into the day of, you know, the date of the thing, and in reality, probably it wasn't like that before. So I understand that many of the times the Dia de Muertos, it was, like I said, the month of August. It was the Catrina and the Catherine both evolved from the goddess and the god of afterlife, and so forth. Catholicism. I don't want to get beat up because your mom is still, you know, Mexican mom. But at the end of the day, like, it had nothing to do with Christianity.
Right.
But I think the important thing here is that we still, in one shape or form, we're still honoring our defuntos, our loved ones. And more so, I mean, we're still keeping this tradition alive that is pre-Hispanic.
Exactly.
You know, before colonization.
That's the most powerful thing, is that how it's been passed along through generations, and that's
years
something that,
and decades.
Yeah, like, that's something that we can still identify with and kind of like just be like connected with, with our ancestors prior to the colonization of Mexico.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's just very powerful.
Yeah, and I feel like now Day of the Dead has really, it's gone global.
Yeah.
And it's not to say, it's not just Mexico. I mean, you speak with our neighbors in other Latin American countries, and they celebrate Dia de Muerto también. And they have their own take on it as well. You know, so it really just like, that's why I tell everyone that comes to us, man, at the end of the day, we're the same. So we all got conquered by the same. We all got everything,
speak
but
the same language.
You know, we speak the same language, and you know, Spanish is not really our language, but we don't know our native language. So
yeah,
but,
absolutely. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any other questions, I mean, I know for the most part, I know it's 3 days, and a lot of people that I speak to, they're like, what? It's the 31st?
Yeah.
I'm like, but that's Halloween. I'm like, yeah, Mexico.
No.
They didn't have Halloween back then, so. It was just,
and then you, in our call, because, you know, I asked if you wanted to join, you know, be a part of this.
Absolutely.
You mentioned que también hay como para, like, to honor your mascotas.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And y eso es algo ya relatively new.
Right.
Like, if you want to talk, that's been something evolved. But even if you notice, now some of our little things, now you will find some with bones and treats. I mean, I think everyone that know me, and I think my sister and close friends of mine that have had pets, fur babies that have passed on to the other side, you will find, I always get comida de you know, dog food, put the little bowl, put the water.
Yo lo hago.
Yeah, sí lo hago.
Yeah, you know, we put the bone.
Yeah, mi perrita falleció en abril. Yeah.
And that's something we do now. Like, that's and to me, they're my innocent, because they're dogs. They don't know, you know.
Pongo sus fotos de ellos también, como las de nuestros difuntos, ponemos las fotos
Yeah,
ahí
we have their
para
pictures.
que vengan así.
Yeah.
Y también deja decirte algo, cuando una persona se muere por primera vez, se le llama que ofrenda nueva, porque apenas se murió. Dice, se hace un novenario, 9 rosarios antes
Oh,
de
antes
las
de...
ofrendas, sí.
Oh,
Okay, ese yo no sabía,
Yo
sí.
no sabía eso.
No,
Yeah.
explica más de eso, ¿por qué no sabía eso? I think she finally broke out of her shell. Estaba nerviosa, mami. ¿Qué es eso?
¿Ah?
¿Que se reza 9 días
sí.
como un novenario cuando
Sí,
se hace?
sí, cuando la primera vez que le van a poner
Altar.
altar a una persona que se
apenas
murió
falleció.
durante el tránsito del otro año, el nuevo año,
Okay.
no le tocó la ofrenda pasada, sino la nueva, pues se llama ofrenda nueva.
ofrenda nueva. Wow.
Y se le hace sus 9 rosarios
Okay.
antes.
Oh, wow.
9 días
Sí.
leading.
¿Sí?
So, quiere
Leading up
decir-
to the...
¿Y ahora?
Ya pasamos.
Ya pasamos,
Ya, empezando ya
¿verdad?
ahorita, ¿no?
Pasamos. No recuerdo exactamente si del
Desde ayer.
día antes de que se, ¿cómo se llama? Del día, no, porque no el día de antes, sino que 9 días antes de la ofrenda.
Okay.
Y la ofrenda sería el 2.
No, ya día, el día último ya no.
Oh,
Ya.
okay.
Sería el primero.
El primero.
Oh.
El primero.
Okay.
El primero.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Bueno.
Ya saben.
Cuando son nuevas ofrendas.
Cuando son nuevas ofrendas. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Y so yo veo aquí que hay como diferentes niveles. Y yo
Correct.
siempre he visto diferentes niveles o nada más una mesa. ¿Hay un significado? Like, is there a significance in like different tiers or?
Dilo, porque yo no sé eso.
Vi en el otro, que son 3.
Tienen 3
Son
tiers.
3 pisos.
Okay, 3 pisos.
Ajá, sí, pero ya no recuerdo cuál significa.
Oh, okay.
So, yo
pero
escuché
sí.
que sí, y yo, like I said, I don't know how to say this. Lo que yo tengo entendido es que es el más higher es porque es más closer para el cielo o algo así. No sé si yo, I'm just probably making stuff up, I'm sorry.
Es lo que está aquí
So the
primero.
bad people are
Yeah. I don't know.
Porque aquí, mira, aquí está la comida, toda la comida. En el
Okay.
ese. Y cada piso tiene diferente.
Oh, okay.
Cada tier tiene
Ajá,
su propósito.
propósito.
Oh, okay.
Ujú.
Okay. Pero no
Y-
importa o como no.
Pues sí, pero
Oh.
como a veces yo antes no le ponía esos 3 pisos, nomás ese y le ponía todo.
Okay. Eso no importa.
No importa.
No importa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pues para nosotros no, porque si hay alguien allá también,
Sí,
at the same time,
yeah.
avísanos,
Yes.
porque como dije, nosotros tenemos tradiciones diferentes.
I heard it's like a family tree. Like
Oh,
I
it's a
think the
family
top
tree.
part is like
Oh.
the older people,
Oh, yeah,
like the
Pues
generation.
por eso, además, si tú lo haces,
Oh.
Le pongo la-
que se ponen por ejemplo, los abuelos,
Ajá.
mis abuelitos arriba, y luego
Oh, okay.
así.
So depende de qué tan.
Like the hierarchy, I
Yeah,
think, is
yeah,
that,
like the
that
family
makes sense,
tree.
because I just saw my mom, siempre ponemos my
Yeah.
grandparents.
That was my sister, by the way. She's the camera person.
We love her.
I do. She's,
Like,
do we
bam.
have any questions? ¿No tenemos
Yeah.
preguntas?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any questions.
Who's calling me out my Spanish?
The questions will just pop out.
Yeah, they should pop out, but if not, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's
ask a
hard.
question.
Yeah, somebody ask questions.
Or let me know if you guys have a different tradition or something. 'Cause like I
Yeah.
said, Mexico, it seems like, and just for speaking of families here and encounters that I've had, cada quien tiene sus diferentes significados, you know? Like I said, for us, my mom, I didn't realize, but yeah, she does. And I don't know if maybe she subconsciously knew to say it like that, or maybe she just did it, you know? Pero we heard from your sister,
Sí,
yeah,
no,
and,
yeah.
and that's
You
awesome.
learn something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y más aparte de eso, like, yo miro papel picado. I know
yeah.
that that's like a common thing.
Yeah. El papel picado, sí, normalmente el más tradicional es el
De
papel.
papel.
Yeah.
Porque ahora
Oh,
piden
de
de
papel.
plástico.
Yeah.
Ahora piden de plástico.
Yeah.
pero-
Y ahora pedimos plástico, but that's more ya decoration para afuera, pero sí el papel porque es bien delicado, es papel china, any little thing will tear up, the wind will tear it up. For the most part, es nomás para hacerlo también. Lo que yo tengo entendido, y corrígeme si estoy equivocado, fíjate todos los colores que es. Un altar siempre lo hacen bien bright, siempre lo hacen colorful.
Yeah.
Y tiene mucho que ver eso para guiar nuestros difuntos queridos to the altar.
Right.
Es una fiesta que se le está haciendo.
Yeah, y eso- yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is a party at the end of the day. Es una celebración.
Yeah, y para mí se me hace interesante porque mi abuelita
Ajá.
nunca hizo eso porque se le hace como somber, yeah, como tristeza, yeah, tristeza. Y para nosotros vemos la muerte como, ay, no,
Yeah.
you know. pero yo lo veo que como es una celebración,
Sí,
¿verdad?
sí.
Para honrar a la familia.
Sí,
a los-
Sí,
Y en
sí.
realmente
no siempre es que estar llorando.
Yeah.
Right, exactamente. Que no descansan en paz.
Y es una cosa, sí es una celebración de ellos y de, in a weird way, de su vida, aunque ellos ya están fallecidos. You know, celebration of life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
¿Qué iba a decir también? Y yo me acuerdo que pues hasta mi mamá, tú luego hablas, aquí te puse tu
Sí, yo los
you know, she'll talk to them.
Y
You
cuando,
know?
aunque no tengo foto de alguien, entonces, ven fulano, aquí está tu comida, aquí está tu luz y todo, estás invitado. O todos los que no tengan su luz y comida, aquí está, hay para todos.
Ya es una cosa que me puso triste de Coco cuando decía que si no tienes la foto, they won't come.
Sí,
But,
claro.
but it's funny, my mom would always talk to whomever. Si no tengo la foto, she will still name them
Oh,
to
okay.
call them.
Ya, so iba a
Yeah.
preguntar de las fotos, porque he escuchado, es importante tener las fotos individuales de cada persona. Pero, what if I took a selfie with someone?
I'm like,
Ya, so me corto mi parte de la foto.
Haz la copia y córtala.
Es lo que hice yo.
Ya, porque, no, sí, pero di por qué. Yo sé yo tengo mis sentimientos, pero tú di por qué.
Pero yo
Porque
digo
no
que-
quieres poner una persona
que está
viva
viva ahí.
allí.
Okay, so no.
It's a no.
Por eso
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Is it like a curse or?
I wouldn't say a curse, but in a way I feel like it kind of like es como pues no es bueno, ¿verdad? Porque es
Pues
como
no,
la estás
porque
poniendo.
¿cómo vas a poner ahí si no está muerta tú
Yeah,
también?
like, no la quieres
Mejor
poner.
darle comida en vida.
Dame mi mole.
Dame lo que te
Verde,
gusta.
verde too. But yeah, no, yeah, it's just not a good practice
Okay.
because
Okay,
you know
so
you
it
want
has
to put
to
stuff
be
out there.
Like
and
a
stuff.
portrait
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the individual.
Individual,
Okay.
yeah.
Y si no hay fotos, pero
Pues por nombre.
Yeah.
por nombre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Por nombre.
O escribe ya. Like I said, eso ya, I think que eso varíe también entre regions o cada quien como ellos crecieron. Pero yo sé que mi mamá, ella, she would call out the name or if you feel come, write down the name. Si te sientes like you feel like, hey, I'm calling you, come.
Yeah.
Yeah. See why as a kid I would be scared. I'm like, oh my God, all these dead people are coming to my house. Like, what? Si me paro ahí va a estar, mamá, sí. mijo. And she would tell me, sí, ahí lo vas a ver. I'm like, oh my God. Te digo, no más para asustar. No, but it's true.
Yeah. Okay. So son 3 días en
Yes.
total y ya después del 3 de noviembre
Ujú.
o
El
segundo,
3 de noviembre.
el 3 de noviembre ya que se hace ya.
Se lleva todas las flores, ya se come todo lo que pusimos.
Oh, ¿se come todo?
Sí.
Yeah.
Okay.
¿Sí?
Oh, eso
No se
lo
echa a
hacía.
perder.
No. So there might be, en México se lo comen el tercer día. So like, yeah.
Sí.
Because
Se invita a la persona, si una persona que, especialmente van a eso precisamente porque van, ya es el tercer día y ya pueden comer de
Okay.
quita del altar.
y también recuerda que en México pues se pasan toda la noche en el cementerio.
Yeah.
En el cemetery.
Yeah.
Y ya then it's a party all night. Party,
Hay en
yeah.
partes que es el tercer día, es el 3 de noviembre que llevan las flores, pero ya en Iguala, dice...
Igual a que.
En Iguala Guerrero,
There you go.
allá se llevan el 2.
Oh, okay.
El
So
2 de
El
noviembre.
2 de noviembre.
Llevan las flores
Ujú.
al
Y
cementerio.
sí.
Al cementerio.
Ajá.
Y se quedan ahí toda la noche.
No,
No, nomás llevan.
nomás llevan las flores ya, ya que se cumplió con la ofrenda para ellos y ya se llevan sus flores
Ok.
al panteón.
Pero sí hay partes donde se quedan toda la noche, ¿no?
Hay veces que sí, y luego pues allá se llevan, a veces llevan comida y ahí les dan a las personas que vayan.
Nice. That's a really big.
Yeah,
celebration
es una
type, yeah.
celebración.
Yo nunca he pasado Día de Muertos en México, but now I feel like over the years
Yeah.
it's gotten a lot of momentum.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
next year we'll do an Instagram
Oh,
live.
also, like, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot more, you know,
Yeah.
because there's a lot going on and many perspectives, many different beliefs, many different traditions within the family from the regions. I mean, there's people that don't go at night, do go during the day. I mean, you're hearing our perspective from what we are, what we grew up, what she grew up with, you know, and sorry, yo sé que no te gusta estar en la cámara, pero aquí estás. And yeah, y pues también una cosa I do gotta say is, wow, porque cuando nosotros, I mean, we've been selling what we sell since '98, and antes it would just be very, very few compared to what it is now.
Yes.
Like honestly, back then no se oía mucho. Like we would have it, but it would be very little to now what we have to carry.
Right.
because now a lot of people have ya conocen más. The movie Coco. After that movie,
Coco was
honestly, Coco really kind of like lit this up in front of to many people and to people who their parents maybe didn't really set up the altares. They're like, well, I want to do this. Why? Right. You know? And then you start questioning, and then you're asking, well, mi tía does it. How come you never did it? You know, and stuff like that. So I think it's in general with everything with our culture, and that's why I'm such a big advocate for like just ask. I'm all about educating as much as I know, and by no means I'm not an expert or educator. I just know from what I know because of the people I've encountered throughout these years, being with my parents in Mexico.
And this is such a great way, right? As we talked about how Dia de Muertos is a pre-Columbian, tradition. Look at you, you're passing it along and you're moving it forward to like someone like myself who didn't know like el significado de all of these ofrendas and everything. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and just like your experience and knowledge in this. And also like, as a consumer, I'm very intentional of like who I want to support and what I want to buy. Target already has the Dia de Muertos stuff.
Don't even get me started.
And I'm like, yo, like, do you have this? No.
Está en español. Even though it's not the native language, but still.
Yeah, so again, as consumers, we need to kind of be mindful about, okay, we're buying these things, pero do we really know the true story? Do we really know the history? And you can have like literally a conversation with individuals like these que tienen una tiendita así, and really talk, and share the traditions and the celebrations and the meaning of this, holiday. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that because...
No, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
En esta semana vino una...
No digas nombres. Don't be calling people out, Mom. No. ¿Qué pasó?
Una persona que quería saber qué es lo que iba a hacer porque no sé si hermano o algo murió hace poco y quiere poner un altar.
Nice.
Quiso que le explicara que se le pone. Sí. Dice, ok, porque ella no sabe nada. Y no habla español, habla inglés.
¿Y tú pudiste explicar?
Sí.
There you go, Mom.
Poquito, pero
there you go.
Guys, please feel free to come here and practice, make my mom practice English. No, pero sí. Y eso es lo que sí nos llega cuando llegan gente like, I want to start, but I don't just want to do it. And I'm like, and I appreciate that because it's not just like, oh, let me jump on the bandwagon. Like, this is something that's been for years.
Right.
Hundreds of years, and I just tell them the bits that I know and what we do, what we're known for doing, and what means what. And granted, what I mentioned earlier about, where it comes from or how it, what it was before colonization, I like to get into that just so they can also know, like, listen, this goes deep. This is something real deep. Yes, it has evolved, but there's a lot more to this celebration than that. Than just like, oh, let me put something up. No.
Right, exactly. And again, it's all about intentionality and knowing what you're doing because you're also, like for me, I have a 1-year-old y yo quiero empezar esta tradición starting this year porque ya va a tener reconocimiento, he's gonna see it. And I want to explain to him, okay, this is what each thing means, you know? And so, like, thank you so much for sharing.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Do we have any questions?
Any questions? ¿Todos están callados?
Preguntas, comentarios, algo.
Que
hable. Any questions?
Whoever I know that's on watching, I'm going to ask you tomorrow, why didn't you ask questions? And you know who I'm talking to. Va a decir, ese Henry es bien regañón.
Yeah, well, like I said, feel free to follow Zarai Imports. What's the Instagram handle?
Zarai_Chicago.
_Chicago, yes. And so they're located in Pilsen on 18th Street.
Thank you.
And you're open?
We're open Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday through Friday, 11 to 6. Saturdays, 11 to 5. And Sundays, 10 to 3.
Perfect. And so, we still have a couple days before setting up your altares and ofrendas. So there's so many great things that I'm about to shop. But,
she's got the VIP.
Right? Well, thank you so much for joining. And thank you for being here. I've learned so much.
I hope you did. Yes. I mean, all we do is share what we know. What we did, definitely.
No, gracias.
¿Tienes algo que decir más?
Gracias a ti, a ustedes por venir a hacer esta conversación.
Sí, claro.
Y
sí.
tomarnos en cuenta.
Claro que sí.
Okay.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Well, bye everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Adios.
Adios.
Thank you for tuning in to the Viva la Mami podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to leave a review and write what episode really resonated with you. If you really loved it, share it on social media or with an amiga. As always, please subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening. Make sure to follow me at Viva la Mami on Instagram or visit vivalamami.com. Please note the information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be replaced by your healthcare provider nor taken as professional advice.